people mix us up on Camp Color.
All the time, yeah. I don't know why. I don't know. We're going to mix you up. We're going to split you guys. So, want to give them 5 or 10 minutes to finish lunch?
I think that they're probably just finishing
Guys
up
are
now,
good.
but we can tell them just a little overview of what to expect here. As you all entered into the room, you were all given a sticker, and we did that intentionally to break you guys up into 2 separate teams. So one of you are, whoever has the alpha sticker on you, will be actually leaving this room and going to another room with Elonda.
I'm alpha.
Well,
Beta.
let's see our alpha team members. Who are those? Okay.
Our team, Rob.
All right. All right. The beta team will be staying in here with me, and we're going to be going over some information in here as well with you. And just to kind of give you a brief overview of really what to expect in this afternoon. This is something that we've never had anything like this at one of our meetings here, and so we hope you really enjoy it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we think that it will be really enjoyable for you. What's going to end up happening is that we are going to split you up into 2 separate teams, and all of a sudden you're going to forget everything that you've ever learned as being an American in this society, and you're going to be learning how to learn to become part of another culture. And so what is going to end up happening is we are going to teach you about those different cultures. You're going to learn the differences of those cultures, and then we're going to eventually send you into those other rooms to observe each other, and then we're going to have discussions based on that.
Yes. Just go with the flow. Don't, don't be hesitant.
It's fun.
It is. Just relax and go with the flow and give it a chance to actually be you. And just react as you actually would. Don't think that I'm looking at you and thinking you want to act a certain way. No. There's no hidden agenda. This is you. This is an experience that you're going to find out about you. Okay. But it is totally interactive. Have fun with it. And just let your hair down and let it swing and win. Okay, so we're going to split. Take care of you.
So, like I was introduced earlier, just say hello to all of you. I'm Scott Walden. I'm the ISC Training and Development Specialist. I would like to welcome all of you once again to our diversity section today. This is a lot of fun. As a trainer, having done training and development for many years, this is something that you hear of through the training and development pipe a lot. As a matter of fact, BaFa BaFa is actually credited as being the very first ever diversity simulation training. And it was actually developed all the way back into 1974. It was the very first one ever. And so when the publication came out, it was quite, really a lot of talk about this, because it was really talking about something that had never really been addressed before in workplace situations. So what we're going to be doing is, I passed all of you out cards a little bit earlier. And so I'm going to kind of explain how these cards kind of working with this. We have a little bit of a limited time frame today, so we are going to be moving at quite a rapid pace. What we would normally do, just to kind of let you know, Elonda and I talked about this, is we would normally ask for 5 or 6 volunteers to go in and visit the other culture, and then come back and report back to the group the things that you're seeing in a different culture, and vice versa. Because of the limited time, what we're going to do instead is they're going to get she's going to give her group instructions, and then they're actually going to come in and intermingle with our culture and see how that works, and see what types of things that we can pick up. So it's the same type of thing, it's just kind of moving it at a little bit more of a rapid pace. And I think that everybody's still going to get the same ideas based on that. So kind of moving forward here. Okay, well, maybe not. I just
Yikes.
hit something here, and I don't know what's... And this is what we're calling ourselves, as the Beta tribe. Now, in our tribe, in our culture, your worth is not dependent on how much money you make, like in our current culture today. It's actually based on how much of a trader you are. And so you become a valued member of society if you are very professional, very successful at becoming a professional trader. And what that means is that those cards that you have in your hand, you're going to be utilizing to give you the skills necessary to trade with each other. we're about to play a little bit of a card game. And it's very much like, how many of you have ever played Uno before? Okay, it's very similar to that. You're going to be trying to get numbers in orders and these types of things. When you're trading with each other, though, is where it really gets a little bit interesting, because you're going to have 10 trading cards. They come in 6 different colors, and all those colors are in your hands as you see them. And each card has many numbers on it, as you see. It might be a little bit confusing to look at. However, the only number that matters on each of those cards is the ones that are up in the corner of each of those cards. If you notice, they are all the same numbers in each of the 4 corners, right? Now those are specifically designed that way because it's supposed to be a secret language that only beta card holders know. So that when other visitors from other cultures come in, they may shy away from that. They won't want to steal them or those types of things. So those were specifically designed just for us. What you want to do is you want to collect 7 cards of one color, and you want those to be in order. So for instance, all of the cards are in order from 1 through 7. You want to get a card, like a green card 1, a green card 2, green card 3, etc., all the way to 7. And once you get a full set, just like a straight flush in poker, then you have received your full set. When you trade those, if you get a full set of those cards, you can bring them up to me and I'll give you a little sticker to put on your shirt. Now the reason why that's important is because in our society here in the beta culture, that's how we decide who our leader is. The most successful person to become the official trader of our tribe is the one that collects the most sets of 7. Does that make sense to everybody? And the cards are not worth anything at all unless you get a full set. The person who will eventually become the most effective trader in our group is the one who collects the most of them. So the person that will have the most stickers on them will then eventually become our great and valuable leader. Now, that may sound really easy. However, guess what? All trading is done in our own language. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. We have to, from this point on, just forget English. English is going to become our second language. So we will only be trading in beta language. And what does that sound like? Well, there are only 13 words in our language. Yeah, sweet. It's going to be very interesting. There are 6 for colors and 7 for numbers. This ensures that all of our conversations remain only to the task at hand because that's all our society cares about is trading. Other conversations outside our language is considered rude. So if other cultures visit us and they don't want to speak in our language, we will actually take offense to that. All beta words only are using the vowel sounds, A, E, I, O, and U. So for instance, if you have a blue card, you would say be, bi, bo, boo. Okay, let's try the green ones. Ge, gi, I, go, boo. All right, white, way, we, why, wo, woo.
Sometimes why.
Yeah, sometimes why. Yeah. So, now, another thing that we have to do is our beta language with numbers. So for instance, we have to use our name. Now, where does BaFa BaFa come from? This explains it to us. The guy that invented this whole concept of thinking, his name was Brent Folsom. And he came up with this secret language to use as part of his training process. So, so you take the first letter of your first name, okay, whatever that is, and then you add a vowel to it. And you can add any of the vowels, A, E, I, or U, okay? And you can also stress it any way you want. So if you want ah or a, this is using BaFa, so he's using his A as, a different A sound. So ba means 1, BaFa means 2, and that's how you're asking for the number of cards that you would like in your hand. Okay? BaFa ba, 3. BaFa BaFa 4, BaFa BaFa ba 5. You kind of get that general idea here. Goes on, and it goes all the way to 7. So to give you an example, I'm using my name here. Sa, Sawa, Sawa Sa, Sawa Sawa. Somebody said, do you speak Klingon? No. Sounds very similar. So that's just an example. The other thing is that you need to know is, if you would like to have, so here's a dialogue example. I would like a yellow 3. Yo! BaFa Ba. I would like a green 5. G. BaFa BaFa Ba. BaFa BaFa Ba. See? So you take the first letter of your name. I would like a white 6. Wa. BaFa BaFa BaFa. Okay? So let's try this. So you try it with your name. Okay? We're going to do it with this. And so if you would like a yellow green, you're going to say how many, on the end. So you're going to start with a Y because it's yellow. So let's say yo, and take the first letter of your first name and the first letter of your second name, right? And it would be yo.
You get the cards and the chips?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm supposed to get five chips, is that right?
Yeah.
3 cards, 5
Did we
chips.
run out? Oh,
No.
here we are. Sorry. Okay. No, Will, you do too.
Well, I was afraid to ask.
I was wondering if I was whatever it's in there.
Do we run out of cards?
Is it 2 of each? Yeah,
One of each card.
Yeah, 5.
5 chips.
Okay, 5
And if you match the leader, whatever.
Explain the Blimmer and the Tibber.
Okay, for the Blimmer and the Tipper, remember you got 3 cards.
Yeah, right.
Okay? So you guys have a nonsensical game. And the game is basically you're doing
Oh,
this.
so it just allows me to shuffle.
You're just shuffling cards. And when the leader stops, you start.
So
And
they
then
have
you
no-
show
they
what's
have
on the
no-
bottom.
They have no meaning of it.
None. Just a part of, let's talk. What else you have to do this year? And I always have, make up stuff. Seriously, make up stuff if you run out of stuff to tell. Sure. And with 6 kids, you should really have some stuff to
Yeah,
tell.
I agree.
Okay.
But I've been invited in the group.
You're already in the group. Just don't get kicked
I
out.
was a guy.
Well, a guy
Guys can
from
talk.
another group, like the beta group.
No, the beta group that has no, beta group, you don't know what their culture is, so you don't know what their rules are. So your natural assumption is that their rules are the same with yours. So you're right. You assume they have the same
Why
rules.
would that be my natural assumption?
Because we're out.
Just a name, I'm not gonna assume that.
We're going to assume
You're gonna get kicked out.
He's working. Actually, if we had done this as we would normally do it, and we would naturally, the next thing, we would let you guys practice, and then we would choose a contingent of you and send you to the other culture. But we would take your alpha stuff and give you beta stuff. They have different stuff. So you would go into that culture with something totally alien and have to figure out what to do. So no, the assumption would not be do the same. But you would, because they are even learning a different language.
Okay.
So,
Is there dessert when you get kicked out?
no.
Or a bar?
You're in the corner.
You in the corner.
Where's the person to go?
College kids, college guys are truly inventive. They would do headstands in
Yeah,
the
over there in
corner.
the corner, you know.
Weird. They would do some weird stuff in the corner. The guys, they would really live it up. They wouldn't want to leave the corner. No, they would be doing weird stuff. And then some really
So if I
wanted
get
to.
invited somewhere, do I have to go?
Yes, because that's your world. You want to be part of the community. You do not want to play Survivor and be on Redemption Island.
Just asking, learn how to play the game.
I'm going to create a sea culture for you.
Okay. I'll be my own little world.
You're going to be you want to go on Redemption Island. Does anyone?
BaFa BaFa.
Have a B and an A. Is A your last name?
Gi kara kara kara.
Thank you.
Okay.
You are.
Oh, absolutely.
Good. Do you have any sisters?
I do not have any sisters.
Cousins that are
I
females?
do have a cousin.
Oh, okay.
Works in the hotel business.
All right. How about you, Mr. Will?
I have a stepsister who's a paralegal in Tennessee.
Okay, okay. And Will?
Yes. What did you want?
Sister? How about your wife?
Yes, she's a female.
You can say it.
I have one sister and she's the youngest. As a result, we are always with three brothers always.
I would like
oversee
you to start the
over her,
conversation.
try to control her duties.
I have 3 sisters and about
She
8
always takes
nieces.
shelters with the
So
mother
lots
and
of family.
both of them they fight us
My
back.
grandma is 90
And
years old
I would
this
like
year.
to
Oh.
Yeah.
mention that
She
we have
was telling me she's
both
old, but
like
she doesn't
I have a
really
twin
look
brother
it.
and
It's
we have
crazy.
very good connection with my mother. Like we are very
Yes.
dear to her and
What card do
since
you
we've been
have?
here for the last 2 years.
I
We are out of our family. Yeah, but every day we have to keep attendance. Other than the class attendance, this every
Can
day.
I
we have-
XL?
You know what? So they
How about yours?
Stalls or
Rooms. We're in that.
rooms? Rooms. 3.
And yours? Two? That's nice. Two?
Other group.
I love my mom because she cooks for me. She can go Nails, okay, that's true. How many females work in your organization?
What are you doing?
Even with the abridged exercise, that you may have gotten something else. We had one thread, she said this game may have put her in labor. We were getting something. So tell us a couple of things that you noted about the experiment.
The other group was pretty introverted.
What other group?
What other group?
Alpha.
Alpha. Introverted.
Alpha was alone.
They were alone. Okay. Okay, so we'll do that. On the, give us your impressions, Beta. Give us your impressions of Alpha.
They were 2 islands.
2 islands?
Better than us.
Better than us.
They were rude.
Rude.
better than us.
No, I didn't. Snotty.
Snotty.
I think the betas were trying to go up to them and try to do something, but they actually like, I don't know how you word that, but like, yeah, I was just, it didn't work.
Okay.
Okay.
Now let's flip it. Alpha, tell me about Beta.
Nosy.
Nosy. Intrusive. weird language.
They came to talking to us.
Huh?
They came to be within, get inside us, but we didn't let them.
They wanted to be part of us, and they wouldn't let us. Could not. I left it, could not.
What?
No, that goes the whole situation. Okay, Alpha, would you please explain your culture? Someone in Alpha. Okay.
We were a matriarchal society, basically. Everything we talked about needed to be talked about women or sisters, the female of the family. We were not to be real inclusive for outsiders. We were supposed to be more exclusive, I guess. We were a touchy-feely community. We had to have physical contact frequently. Basically, men had to be invited to our group, and we could make them leave our group if they did something against the leader, the matriarch of the group.
I know, ladies, you all want to take your next vacation to this place.
Now, what was very interesting, and I'll get to beta, what was very interesting, even when our Alpha group switched and became a beta group here, they brought their culture. They circled, they wouldn't let any people in, and they kept kicking out Kale. They kicked Kale out in the yeah, they kicked Kale out in the upper, Kale and Will, where's Will? They were in the corner the whole time.
Yes. Another child.
Wow. Okay, Beta, would you explain your culture? Beta.
Who was it?
Very
You guys know it. Yeah.
We didn't have a language. There was only 16 words that we could use.
You had your own language.
And we had like body language. There was like some sign language that we used for yes and no. And like my language was different than my neighbor's language because it was based off of my name, and her language was based off of her name. So you had to, when you're communicating, you had to do a lot of thinking and counting, and that's how you made your language. Is however many items I was asking for, I had to say my language so many times. We were counting. It was just, we really had to focus and pay attention.
And what was the most important thing to the beta culture? Like, what's great
Training.
is all their
You wanted
major
to
does.
get, you wanted to create your own group. You had your numbers, and you wanted to get that full set so you could become a leader. And you were going for your stickers. So when you got your sticker, then you knew you were a leader.
Okay, and I know.
And that was nice.
We have 1 minute. We have 1 minute. We're good. If we had more time, we would get into the differences more. But the one thing that is common out of all of the groups that Scott and I have been able to do is that what we do, we note, when we note differences, we note the negativity before we note the positive. And that's just a natural reaction that we have to catch when we do. I do it.
Just
I'm
like
a
this
diversity
list.
officer, come on. So we all do it. So that's something that when we walk our daily journey, we have to really focus because we do it. Something different, something alien. We try to pick out what's wrong with it instead of saying, let's appreciate what is really positive about it.
And remember, you actually said that. All you threw out to say was, who could tell us about the alpha culture? Who could tell us about the beta culture? And all of these are negatives, if you've noticed. And because that's the first thing that came out of your, into our minds, just because of the fact that it's uncomfortable for us to sometimes really become a part of a different culture. And so that's really what this is about, is just trying to take a step back and instead of thinking about things negatively, when you encounter people from other areas or other diversities, that you will at least accept the fact that just because you don't understand what it is that they're saying, or just because of their actions, they may be giving you the wrong signals in your head, but really it's just a part of their culture as well.
Differences are cool. It's what makes us all really unique, what makes us all really worthwhile knowing. So that's what we have to pick up from this exercise. And we do apologize that we don't have more time, because we would have extended the interchange and the interaction more. but we appreciate the time that you
Yes, because it is such a great job in a limited amount of time, really, that we had. So you guys got it, which is important because that's why we have done this. So excellent. Do you guys have any questions about anything or observations?